Had other suitors, including Manchester City and Bayern Munich, but German football expert Konstantin Eckner says it was the Liverpool boss Arne Slot who proved instrumental.
What ultimately influenced his decision, Wirtz's decision, is that Arne Slot in particular offered Wirtz the best plan for the next couple of years, meaning that Wirtz will be Liverpool's number 10, the centerpiece in the attacking system. I mean, of course, Mohamed Salah is still there, but I mean, how many more years will he play for Liverpool? I think, as everyone knows, his days are somewhat numbered, and then Wirtz will be a centerpiece then of the Reds' attacking system.
And the club president of Portuguese side Sporting, Frederico Varandas, says they've not received an offer for striker Victor Gyökeres, and there's no gentleman's agreement for him to leave for around $80 million. The Swedish international had been heavily linked with Manchester United and Arsenal after scoring 97 goals in the last 2 seasons. The release clause in Gyökeres' contract stands at $115 million, and Varandas says the only promise made to him is they wouldn't demand the full amount. And for more football news from the BBC, just go to bbc.com/football.
BBC Premier League update from the home of Premier League football.
All right, so thank you so much. You have the BBC update, and talking about the Club World Cup. Let me just run the players that will be there for Chelsea: 4 goalkeepers, 10 defenders, 6 midfielders, and 8 forwards. The goalkeepers: Robert Sanchez, Philip Jorgensen, Pedards, and Slonina. And the defenders include Marco Corella, Adarabioyo, Badashvili, Colwell, Saar, the new signing, Chaloba, Rhys James, the captain of the side, Malagusto, Asamino, and Archibong. And the midfielders are Enzo Maresca, Moise Caicedo. Esugo is joining them, of course, from Sporting Lisbon, played on loan in the Spanish La Liga last season, Santos, Dewsbury Hall, and the Belgian Lavia. The forwards are the new signing, Delap, Pedro Neto, Cole Palmer, Noni Madueke, Nicholas Jackson, Christian Nkunku, George, and Maguire, the Spaniard. All right, so there you have it in terms of Chelsea players heading to this year's Club World Cup. Now, talking about the things that FIFA intends to do ahead of this year's Club World Cup, let me brief you that FIFA have informed the club side coming to this year's Club World Cup that what they need to do is that they need to present a CD containing a song that will be played at the stadium before their games. The song should express the heritage and the history of the club side. Now, you notice that once games are done in Spain, especially Spain, that I notice, you always have the club play the club anthem. So they're urging the clubs coming for this year's Club World Cup to come with a CD because that they would like to do in the US. Another thing they also intend to do is that each team must select one of their legends or can use their current captain to present their team sheet during games via the stadium announcement system. This will be done for all the games during the first round. Before kickoff, the players will be called up one by one, not like the group workout as done previously. They will face each other in a parallel manner. The match officials will be the last people to come out. So if you don't get it, then when they start, you probably understand what I'm trying to say this morning. I won't be able to do that due to time. All right, so still staying with what FIFA intends to do ahead of the World Cup 2026, just a year, Gianni Infantino has been speaking in the last few hours. Let's take a listen to Gianni Infantino, and then when we come back, we'll talk more headlines from the world of sport. Don't forget the NBA playoff, and of course, tennis as we speak is on grass. Gianni Infantino.
Act of this tournament will be profound and long-lasting. A FIFA World Cup always inspires young people, but in 26, we are going even further by creating real pathways for the next generation. The scale of investment and visibility will accelerate grassroots programs, boost infrastructure, and inspire young players to dream bigger. Our aim is not just to organize a tournament, it's to give something meaningful to every host city and every community. It's to make this World Cup eternal in the lives that it touches. When a child in Vancouver or Guadalajara or Atlanta chooses to kick a ball because of what they saw in 2026, that's the true legacy. That's when football or soccer wins. The United States represents one of the greatest frontiers for football, a country with the scale, the diversity, and the passion to take the game to new heights. We want to make soccer mainstream in the United States, not just a youth sport, but something people follow throughout their lives because they love it. Our ambition is to see football right there alongside American football, basketball, baseball, and ice hockey as part of the national sports conversation. The momentum is already building, and that moment will happen in exactly 1 year from now, when the world arrives for the biggest FIFA World Cup ever. Football, or soccer, has been knocking on the door in the United States, and in 2026, get ready, it walks right in. Yes.
All right, so I'll play, by His grace, the remaining part of that later in the afternoon on Scoreboard Reloaded. So Gianni Infantino will do a lot of shalaye. You see him called football, you see him called soccer. So for us in this part of the world, we call it football. But in the US, they call it soccer. So it's got to be saying that so they can put it in their heart and put it in their head. And you also heard him saying, we'll do everything we can, because they know that football or soccer, now going to the US, you have to convince the American public there's a sport they're used to. But hey, the World Cup is coming. It was there in 1994. Now it's going back to the US, but this time they will be shared across 3 others in that region. Mexico and Canada will have a bit of it, but the Americans will have the biggest of the pie. Let's talk some NBA this morning, still staying with the U.S. Indiana Pacers bounced back to defeat the Oklahoma City Thunders 116-107 and take a 2-1 series lead in the NBA Finals in the early hours of Thursday. That was Wednesday in the U.S. Haliburton scored 22 points with 9 rebounds and 11 assists to spearhead a tremendous collective effort that included a career playoff high 27 points from reserve Benedict Mathurin. So you have it on Saturday. We'll have the 4th game of the best of 7. Now, still staying away from football, let's talk about the WTA going down in England. And of course, it's on grass. It's been good to see tennis on grass after we saw it on clay in the last couple of weeks. Emma Navarro came from a set down to beat Beatriz Ada of Brazil. Ended 1-6, 7-6, 6-3 in favor of the Spaniard, who's world number 10. And of course, Taina Maria also won a game. And of course, Madison Keys last on court yesterday won a game in 2 straight sets. Okay, I've been told that's the beat I can take, but I won't go without talking about Luka. Luka Modric, of course, is set to leave Real Madrid in the next few weeks, but he's still got one more commitment with Real, is that he's going to the Club World Cup. Once he's back from the Club World Cup, he will undergo his medical, or I think that will happen before the Club World Cup. Because he's joining AC Milan. So he's moving from Real to AC Milan, but first, he wants to be part of the Club World Cup with Real Madrid. And of course, starts this weekend. We'll tell you more about the Club World Cup when we come and what Gianni Infantino also has to say, the concluding part of that press conference he had in the last few hours. I am Peter Omo.